Hi guys, it's Charlie and Teresa Garden for two. It's Thursday the 18th again. We gave you the wrong date yesterday. And we're out here in the potato patch today. Red and white skin potatoes went in a while ago and they're doing okay. That's them over there. Of course, we got a couple tomatoes on the end. Probably not really great to mix co-plant potatoes and tomatoes, if you can say that fast. Anyhow, that's the spot we had, so that's what we did. And then that's Teresa. Hi, Teresa.
Hello.
What's behind you, hon? Let's show them that, and then we're going to show you the sweet potatoes. So,
We've got, this is called planting in hills, and what I do is I dig a hole and put the fertilizer of my choice in, which was like a 3-4-4 or 3-4-3, something like that, and fill back in the hole and scoop some dirt up around and pat it down into a circle. And then you plant 3 to 5 seeds and you water it. And this is for vining crops like cantaloupe, honeydew, watermelons, and we've got, I think we have honeydew.
That's watermelon there.
A few days ago.
This one's watermelon. We got 5, as you could see. And this one is watermelon.
Oh, okay.
And then back here is honeydew. Back here is honeydew. And back here is didn't want to work with us.
Yeah.
So we replanted it.
I just replanted them. When you first plant seeds and when you have seedlings, you need to keep them moist, which means they should be watered every day. And if it's very hot out, you can water them twice a day. Our soil has been holding a lot of moisture. And I actually have a moisture meter because I've been overwatering the tomatoes. So I've been testing now with the meter so I don't make anybody unhappy with having their soggy roots.
And if you can hear in the background that bird, that's our ospreys that are nesting in the pole above us. Anyhow, this bed here, just real fast, and we're going to go on to the sweet potatoes. The ground here was clay. It was hard. It had grass. So we covered it with cardboard, and then we got this bedding, and we just put it down so there's no till at the bottom. And we needed a few extra beds, so I just had to scrap lumber. I threw it together, and we threw some sand and some horse manure in there. Okay, so that's pretty much what that is. All right, so Teresa's going to show you the sweet potatoes and tell you what's going on with the sweet potatoes today.
Now this bed is different. We had prepared this last fall by putting, let's see, I think we sprayed vinegar over it. And then we put sheet plastic on it, kind of solarized it through the winter.
That was to kill the grass.
And we tilled it in early spring and tried to pull out all the wiregrass because that's very invasive, particularly in potato patches.
Well, I had planted a ground cover here.
Right.
And then that's what we tilled into the ground cover because it didn't die.
So the soil in the potato patches, you can see it, it's much nicer. It's had compost added to it. It's had horse manure, and it's not sticking together. It's nice and it's just right for sweet potatoes. I made rows, and it's really not necessary to do this. You could just put the sweet potatoes through the whole bed, but this was just to help me space them better.
Okay.
And let me tell you something about sweet potatoes, because we grew them before. Just because you plant the plant here does not mean the potatoes are going to stay right around the plant, because we've had sweet potatoes come up from a plant like 2 feet away. If it decides it likes it better under this cardboard, it'll do it. So when you go to dig them up in the fall, or in the late summer rather, you need to follow the stems as they go underground and make sure you're following them, because you might get a few surprises.
Okay, so we're planting in the sun here. It's usually better to plant like in the evening, but this is what the time we have to plant because I'm busy tonight. All right, so Teresa's going to tell you about the variety we got and what she's doing with that.
We got these from our local hardware store. It's best to deal with the locals because they sell to farmers and they know the varieties that farmers usually grow. This variety of sweet potato slip is called Beauregard. I've grown it before, It's sweet, it's good, it's easier to grow than some of the other varieties. They root them, they pick them off the sweet potato that has grown the shoots, and then they root them. So this was a shoot, and now you see there's little roots all over it. I'm gonna pick out the ones I like the best, and they're the ones that are going to get planted, or I might slip a few small ones in together so I don't waste them. But they might not all necessarily make the cut. I think there's 25 in this handful.
Yeah, they come 25 to a bundle in our store. So what we do is we figure out how many linear feet we have, and Teresa's planting them about a foot apart, and then we could divide and figure out how many slips we need. And if we have to, we actually have some sweet potatoes, one that we grew as an organic sweet potato, so we started our own slips inside, but that takes forever.
Okay, in addition to getting the soil ready, a couple weeks ago I put into the soil some nematode, some carnivorous nematodes. They're supposed to attack the grubs and the wire worms, and I've used them before. Just now I dug the center bed and planted the sweet potatoes. I got the spacing not quite right, so that was experimental. So this spacing is 16 plants in 16 feet. And digging through all of those holes, I only found one grub, which is good because grubs and wire worms and voles and mice will like to get in there and
okay. And what are you going to put in the hole?
I didn't put it in the hole.
Oh, you're not adding anything today? Okay.
I had already put green sand in there, if you can get it, or a high potassium fertilizer, because sweet potatoes like a higher potassium.
Okay.
It already had a dollop over the winter of phosphorus, and what else did I put in there? Like I said, it's had horse manure and compost. And just now what I put in is this formula here is 463.
Okay.
So with the potassium green sand that I put in already, the potassium level should be good. If they start looking a little peaked, I do have potash, which I hate to use because it's really strong. But I can add that to the soil.
All right, let's show them how we plant one or two.
Yeah. Well, first of all,
we document this because we're old, we don't remember when we plant stuff. So when we go to harvest, we'll go back and say, oh, we planted those back in May, and we won't remember the date.
So you see the shoots have they've been rooted up to about 4 inches. So I soften the soil when I dig the hole down about 6 inches. And so I can kind of tap them in there and then cover up. It doesn't matter if you go a little bit past the first leaf because it'll just grow more roots anyway. But I'm going to make each of the holes wet with the hose so that it's completely nice for them when they get surrounded by soil, and I'll water them in after I put them in, and then I'll water them again tomorrow, and then they should be good. It'll get rain on Saturday, and then I'll water them maybe twice a week. So.
Awesome. All right, so we're up in zone 7A in Delaware, but last night it was in the 40s here.
Yeah.
So, but we tested the temperature of our soil, and we're over 60 degrees in the soil temperature. So Teresa's just making mud pies now.
Yeah.
So we're okay to go, I think. Although we could wait a few more days just to be sure, but the forecast is good for us. So.
Yeah. It's only going down to 50 tonight, but this bed is in full sun, so it's warm when I'm down there working on the ground. So, start over here. These little poles are here to hold my irrigation hose in place. So,
where's your kneeler, hon? You didn't bring your kneeler again.
I have to keep getting up and down, so up. I think I'll put 2 of these together. Line them up.
So I love sweet potatoes. Now, Teresa makes a sweet potato pie, but she makes it without sweet potato.
I make sweet potato muffins that are made with honey and are really good.
Yeah. And I know it's not on my low carb diet, but I eat some.
And they look a little sad, but they will perk up.
They look very sad.
Yes.
Oh, poor guys.
Don't worry.
Well, they'll be more happy in the dirt in the sun than they were in that cardboard box they just came out
Yeah,
of.
wrapped in a paper towel.
Wrapped in a paper towel.
I keep dropping them on that. Okay.
I don't know what company they got the slips from, but they had a trillion slips in one box. Can you guys see that, or do I need to zoom in for you? I mean, it's nothing really to it. She'll firm it up a little bit, but
Yep.
so you don't want too much air pockets around the root. But the water's in there.
I mean, I spray them gently after they're put in. Sure, I have it on
Yeah, you know, on
shower.
shower.
I'm not squirt my husband.
She's trying to. I see her keep aiming it at me.
There we go. There you go, guys.
So this part doesn't. This is like the easy part. After getting the soil all ready and everything's the hard part.
Yeah.
But once you get to this part, this is the fun part.
But this is another reason that a deer are supposed to be very fond of sweet potatoes. So the
Yeah,
reason we have them fenced in.
I'm gonna try the white and the red skin potatoes outside the fence. I'm gonna do an experiment outside the fence with that because this is a 30 by 30 area and we could have a whole lot more sweet potatoes. Besides, I'm making dirt here as fast as I can with the clay. Soil, dirt, whatever. It ain't clay, as long as it's not clay.
Not soil unless you can work it.
Yeah.
Unless it will grow things.
So we have, again, exhausted all of our compost. I got a new pile cooking at 200 degrees, or 150. So that'll be ready fast.
Yeah.
But we're getting grass now this time of year. Teresa's cutting the grass for me, so I can make it now.
Now, when I grew sweet potatoes in New Jersey, my one main pest is a bug I call the gold bug. It's I don't know what the scientific name is for it, but when you see it in the light, it is bright, shiny gold. And it just mystified me. I looked for years to find the real name, and I did find it. So it wasn't my imagination, but I can't recall the actual scientific name right now. But it just ate lots of holes. And then, of course, we had voles.
Yeah, we had voles.
And they ate a few, but
She's just going right along. She's just going right along. They're just bopping right on in. Now, do you know if you hill sweet potatoes the way you do white and red skin potatoes?
No, you don't. You don't need to. We could have left this whole area flat and just planted them. But this was just to, see, I've got them 8 inches apart here, but then they're almost 2 feet apart there. So, but they'll grow under here. So it really, this is just for me to plant with. I could just rake it all smooth again, and it wouldn't make any difference.
Now, I actually rototilled this area, and I did it 3 times because the clay is so hard. It would be too hard to dig out the sweet potatoes without, forking it and probably damaging a lot of them. So I rototilled it as deep as I could with our little tiller.
Yeah. And now it has a lot of organic matter in it, so it's just fine.
We took care of that. Now this side is not rototilled. This is just cardboard with the sweepings from the stall in there, but it's breaking down nicely.
Sweepings have fine wood chips, I should say, and also horse manure. Horse manure is prone to grow weeds. If you don't mind weeding, it's fantastic. It's what we have available to us. Horse manure is better. Cow manure is better. Steer manure, because it doesn't have weed seeds in it.
Yeah, and see, we put some straw on top of it, and then I come through and hoe it every now and then. Here's my little hoe. Oh, the rake's here, not the hoe. But it's breaking down well, so it'll work out good for us. All right, so that's it on planting sweet potatoes, and probably come back in 75 days, 90 days, whatever, they'll be done. Well, actually, maybe not that long for sweet potatoes. But yeah, that's how you do it. If you have any questions, go ahead and put it in the comments. Teresa and I do try and look, see if there's any comments, and we'll be glad to answer any questions if we can. I probably can't. Teresa was a naturalist, so she knows more about this than I do. Anything else, honey?
No, I don't know. Here, let me show you the water meter, because this is the first time that I've grown in clay soil, and it can be rock hard and dry on the top.
Let me just see if I can zoom in on it. Yeah, and we're doing container growing too. Okay, so it says moist, wet. I see it. It's got a scale 1 to 10, kind of.
Yes, and it can the clay here can be dry as a bone on the top and down an inch, and it can be wet as can be down to the end, to where the roots of the plants are, and the tomatoes were starting to be affected by it. So now I'm only using my irrigation system every 3 days when necessary, and not every 2 days as I used to do when I lived in New Jersey and had sand. So
yeah, we got to adjust.
Yeah.
So we'll work it out. And then the containers are a total experiment for us. So far, so good. All right, well, we're having a good time here planting sweet potatoes, so hope you guys enjoyed it, learned it. Sweet potatoes taste delicious. Grow your own if you can. They don't take it.
Carbs, more vitamins.
Yeah, they're healthy for you. Yeah, even though they do have carbs, but I think in the ground carbs are good for me. I wouldn't fry them in oil.
Oh, we've had fried sweet potatoes before.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it just adds more to it. So, all right, this is Charlie and Teresa going to sign off our garden for two, trying to figure out if 50 sweet potato slips produces the right amount of crop for two people. We'll find out. We need to expand the bed or shrink it. We'll figure that out. All right, have a nice day, everybody.